ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your National Bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis is now online, providing simple and convenient services to pay your loan anywhere at any time. It begins with you logging on to our website, www.skndb.com. Click the online payment option, select Request Access, input your personal information, and submit payment. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, we've made it easier for you to pay your loan anytime, anywhere. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life. And guess what? Pay your loan online during the month of February for a chance to win a special prize. So, what are you waiting for? Pay your loan online.
Double up the season with the cable's new permanent internet packages. Have you heard that the cable is doubling up on their internet speed? Well, let me tell you about it. Double. If your internet speed is now at 35 megs, the cable will double that to 70 megs. 60 megs will now double up to 120 megs. 120 megs now doubles up to 240 megs. And 160 megs now doubles up to 320 megs. Double. All for the same price. Yes, customers continue to pay exactly what they are paying now for these incredible speeds. These new packages are also immediately available to new customers.
Starting December 1st.
There's no deadline, no gimmicks, no fear about new prices for 2023. What you hear now is what you get. Double. Nobody does internet like the cable. Always giving you more where it matters. Terms and conditions apply.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Louise Clark from the St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services with your safety tip for today. Keep items that can catch on fire at least 3 feet away from anything that gets hot, such as space heaters. Smoking materials can cause residential fire death. If you smoke, take precautions. Smoke outside, choose fire-safe cigarettes, never smoke in bed, when drowsy or medicated, or if anyone in the home is using oxygen.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
All right. Welcome back to our program here on ZIZ Radio. Let me say good morning. Good evening to those of you who might be watching the rebroadcast. Welcome to our fire conversation right here on the morning show with yours truly. In the studio with me, I have Timothy and Rommel. Greetings to both of you.
Greetings to you, GQ. Greetings to everyone listening and viewing.
Yes, good morning all. Good morning, GQ.
Yes, man. Greetings.
Yeah, nice to be back.
All right, so let's get into our conversation for this morning. And do keep in mind, we will be opening the phone lines in just a bit after we make our presentation for you to get in with your questions, concerns, or recommendations as you see it fit. Who's going to kick off the ball this morning? You look eager to go, Timothy. So I guess you're in the front of the line this morning.
Okay. Well, our topic for this morning is based on 3 letters, ICS. And those letters, what they stand for is the Incident Command System. Well, the Incident Command System, it has a lot of value behind of those words. In the 1970s, there was a very catastrophic bushfire in California, and coming out of that fire, they recognized the need for improving the way in which they handle these fires. And hence the Incident Command System was born, so to speak. It is a way of managing a scene to eliminate a lot of the various, how should I put it? The various distractions, incidents that could occur to defeat the purpose of what you're there for, right? So the incident command system, it can be used for multiple events. So it's not just for we as firefighters can use the incident command system. The incident command system could use for whether oil spill, search and rescue, hazardous materials, fires, of course, control of animal disease, and also even planning events. So if you're planning a wedding, funeral, whatever event you might want to put on, you can adopt the incident command system as well.
Romel, anything to add?
Yes, like he mentioned, the system is basically in place to more or less prevent and minimize chaos. Where you have instances where you might have more than one agency responding to the same incident. The absence of a incident command system, you would have total chaos, because then you would not know who is in charge, who needs to do what, when they need to do what. And so as he mentioned, in the 1970s, they realized the need for a system to be put in place to minimize or to mitigate the chaos. Of course, there are some factors that might affect the incident command system, and because our country is a small one, our federation is a small federation, so there may be incidents where one particular agency cannot handle. So there may be like budget constraints, limited staffing, which makes it impossible for just one entity or agency to deal with. While it might be fire department might be the lead agency because of the nature of the incident, but because of the magnitude of the incident, our manpower might not be enough to deal with that incident. So then we need to partner now with other agency for support. Maybe Defense Force, maybe police, could assist in these type of events. And even as small as those fires that we would have up on the Kim Collins Highway, that could be easily chaotic, because now you have this smoke affecting traffic. Who is responsible for traffic? So that's where police comes in for traffic control, rerouting traffic. So right there you have an interagency response in a small situation like that. And so you need to know who is responsible for what. And the fire side, fire department is responsible. And the traffic side, traffic would be responsible. And so there is what you call, inside of the incident command system, there is what you call a unity of command. Who is in charge, who has the overall charge, and who is in charge for what. Simple example, you might have, and I have experienced that, you might have a situation where it started as a fire, but then there was a criminal element, or there might be the person who started that fire might actually still be on scene. So it's a crime scene, so police has to get involved. And if the perpetrator is still on scene, it is unsafe for the firefighter. So it means that the police has to take charge of that, to get rid of that element before I could operate. So when the criminal element is removed and it is safe, then fire take over. So you have a unity of command. Again, it is done to prevent chaos. And as it mentioned, it could be used, the system could be used for almost anything.
Even here, as I said.
Even here, as I said, to prevent any possible chaos. Yeah, it's more like a management system.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So the persons in the 1970s, they were wise enough to realize the need for a system like such as this.
From what you explained, though, it's not like something that you would, naturally fall into place, or that's something that we have introduced to our society, and now and again you have some workshops that refresher workshops to make sure that everyone is on board with this system.
It is necessary, because in the absence of the workshop and the training and what's not, there will be chaos if the persons do not know how to even initiate the incident command system. Because there are a lot of parts, for want of a better word, there are a lot of parts to the incident command system that you have to set up, right? Different phases, because in the system, once the system is set, and again depend on the magnitude of the incident, you will need to set up a post, you will need to have logistics, persons in charge for communications, and so you have a lot of different components that needs to come into play. But if the person who is the unseen, or the person who is in charge at the time, has no knowledge of how to even initiate the system, then you will have chaos.
Right.
You'll have chaos.
I have to ask before you continue. Maybe I wasn't clear the first time, but let me ask it differently. Is that a system that we have here that's already implemented in St. Kitts?
We have that system.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay, great.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
great.
Yes.
Over to you, Timothy.
Can it be more widely adopted in the Federation? Yes, it can.
Okay.
They should.
I just want to highlight some of the weaknesses that made the incident command system bloom, right? It was weaknesses such as lack of personal accountability. So you have an incident and persons, there's lack of accountability in who's supposed to do what and things like that. Poor communication, that was a big aspect as well. Lack of orderly, systematic planning, the planning process of how to get the job done. No common, flexible, pre-designed management structure that commanded the responsibilities and management workload effectively, and the methods in which the interagencies, the method in which they went about dealing with the incident, all of those they saw as weaknesses which helped the evolving of the incident command system. Now, the incident command system, it is basically comprised of 5 functions, right? So you have the incident commander, the person who is overall in charge of the incident. So if 5 different units, whether it be within fire or exterior to fire, once these come on scene, someone must be in charge. All right, so you have to establish the incident commander. Then you have the operations section, the planning section, the logistics section, and then the finance section. It must be financed somehow. Somehow you have to have the funding to back up the operations that are there. So those are the 5 functions, the 5 major functions of the incident command system.
All right. With your permission, gentlemen, before I go any further, can I open the lines, or you want to expound some more?
No, you could open the line.
All right. Let me get... Okay, you have your headphones this morning? Okay, great. All right, so we're going to get our guys set up here. And we're going to take our first call this morning. All right, we lost that call. 465-2555, that's 2555. The lines are now open. For those of you in the United States and Canada area, you can use our exchange line, 718-577-2916, if you have a question as it relates to our conversation this morning, or it might be something in general as it relates to fire and our fire department here. Gentlemen, while we wait for the calls to come in, I'll kick it back over to you, Romel, this time to continue the conversation.
Yes. So as Mr. Martin would have listed out some of the weaknesses, one of the weaknesses initially would be a lack of training, as we would have mentioned previously. A poorly managed incident response can be devastating to our economy. It could affect a lot of things, and again depend on the magnitude of the incident. It could affect food supply, health and safety. I mean, a lot of things could be affected. Let's take, for example, the incident in Turkey, that earthquake. That was a serious earthquake. When I checked the news last, it was about 1,300 persons died. Now, if you do not have a proper incident command system on that scene, it is going to be extremely chaotic. So now what we spoke about now, because of the magnitude of the incident, you need other agencies to get involved. So you will find that other agencies from different countries now start coming in. So now you have this pool of resources coming in. How do you manage that pool of resources? You need an incident command system.
Point taken.
To manage that.
Hold that thought. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Jacob, the City Boy. I just admiring the fireman and you. I just admiring the show. I send you a text message too. I look forward to seeing you guys every Tuesday.
Hey, thanks for your support, Sonny
Yes,
Boy.
man. Morning.
Yeah, man.
And I wish I was home, man. I miss my home. I get goosebumps.
All right, Sonny Boy. I appreciate your support, my friends. Appreciate your support. Yes. So you were saying that if not managed properly, that scene can become a chaotic scene.
Even more chaotic, because what you have now, because you have so many responding agencies from all over the world, if they do not know who to go to, what to do, where to start, then persons will just be all over the place doing. I mean, if you operate, let's say you're doing a search operation, then you will have one team searching, and because there's no proper organization, no proper management, you will have a second team doing the same place and the third team doing the same place. So it's repetitive. So you're wasting your resources, you're exhausting resources, you may not tired and you haven't even done what you're really supposed to do. So in situations like those, the incident command is extremely critical to have a successful operation going. Now the backup mentions conflicting codes and terminologies. Now you have different agencies going to Turkey, and I'm not too sure what the language is in Turkey, but you may have teams coming in that doesn't speak the same language, so you have a language barrier. So you have different codes, because my code and your code are two different codes, and your terminology and my terminology are different. So then you have a problem, because what I call a cobra, you might call a pigfoot.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes, morning,
Good
man.
morning, sir.
Morning.
With respect to the plan in there, in case of a plane crash, do you all have meetings along with the medical service, police, yearly or every 6 months, every 3 months or every 2 weeks to discuss like a plan in case of such incident to happen in St. Kitts, due to the fact that the fire may be limited. So, you know, sometimes you may have a plan in terms of where the doctors will be, where the nurses will be, where in case the government, heads of government come, what you all do. You all have a plan for that, and listen you off the line.
Okay, that's a good question, and I want to believe that there would be a plan that the heads I might not be privy to that plan because of where I'm at, but I've never been on a drill or exercise of that magnitude, but I know that there would have been or may have been tabletop exercise maybe to discuss, plan of actions, and the airport would have the action plan to deal with scenarios such as those. And in the action plan, I would assume that they would have call outs where other agencies are involved. But to say with certainty, yes, there is, I can't say with certainty. What I could do is to find out, and when we come back next week, we'll have a more positive answer for you.
All right, so we can have an incident command system conversation part 2 next week.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Sounds good. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning. Officer, I'm surprised you did not mention that we have NEMA. NEMA is the body in St. Kitts and Nevis that is responsible for managing, let's say, disaster or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm surprised you didn't mention them because I believe NEMA does some kind of coordination with the other agencies, as we would have seen when we had the COVID and so forth. But that is what is why it's mandated for that. And just to say a little bit more, Turkey and Syria, these are two countries, they are warmongers. They're always active when it comes to war. And part of Syria, the northern part, which is the southern part of Turkey, they have a lot of, that's a high point there. And Turkey always active because they know what to do. There was a warmonger still in Turkey. So I ain't putting nothing past them. They know what to do because it's hundreds of years they're involved in conflict. So they must know to manage that good. Have a good day, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. The information you provided is well received. Yes, NEMA is indeed our coordinating agency, inter-coordinating agency.
Yes, what the caller just talked about and what Mr. Martin would have alluded to. NEMA would come in for emergencies of greater magnitude. I was more talking about in-house because we are from fire department. I was speaking more like on an independent agency level.
Aspect, right.
Not so much as a nationwide where NEMA will actually become involved, which is why we did not mention NEMA as yet. Because incident command system works whether it is at a national level or it's just at an agency level.
And your goal this morning wasn't to highlight the agency, it was highlight the system.
Yes, just the system, not actually who is the overall in charge. Because like I said, it might be a case where NEMA isn't even involved because it's just a small fire.
Well, I hope he understands your explanation before we take this next call, and I hope he's not disgusted. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. How are you all doing?
Yes,
good morning, I'm all right.
good.
And good morning, Mr. Rommel in particular. It was just a pleasure meeting you personally.
Yes,
The other day at the funeral.
Yes.
But I'm here listening keenly, and what you all are saying is making so many sense. And the key word is communication.
Yes.
Because if your communication is lacking, then you're gonna have catastrophe.
Yes,
Bottom line.
Indeed.
Because as you rightly say, if you don't have a proper communication system, person are not going to know who is in charge, who to go to, and you're just basically duplicating the system, and it matters worse.
Right.
So you hit the nail, and even us, we take a lot of things for granted. But communication is the key in every aspect of work.
Yes,
because if you don't have a proper communication system, somebody is going to miss exactly what they're supposed to do on a daily basis.
Yes.
So that is something we in the federation need to practice, and sometimes persons they get eager or egoistic, and they feel like they're in charge, and really and truly they're not in charge because they're not expert in certain fields.
Yes.
So once you have a system, and person know which channel to go to, it'll make it much easier.
Right,
And then
that's
only when you have disaster, sometimes you realize how much we are faltering in communication, because everybody is saying, well, it's not me in charge, and sometimes it creates a lot of problem. But as I said, the key word is communication. But it's a great topic, and that is something we have to look into on a daily basis and work on our communication skills. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Yes,
Thank you very
yes,
much.
Over to you guys, man. We got just about 2 minutes left before we wrap up this morning program. Oh, you want to wrap it up now? Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
All right, so we want to encourage the listening audience to do some additional research when it comes to the incident command system. See where you can apply it in your daily life, because it would just add value to what you have been doing in your workplace. Let's say you are a person who deal with managing events. Then once you understand how the incident command system works, that would make your job maybe even better than how you are doing it now.
Indeed. Ramel, what about you? That's it for you?
Yes, I was just reading something else here that is quite interesting, and I think just to highlight it so that persons understand how the command system is used. Now, the designers, they recognize early that the incident command system must be interdisciplinary and organizationally flexible. So it must be able to meet the need of the incident. And early when we were doing some training, we were taught that the disaster determines what resources is needed. Right? When we were thinking that you could prepare for a disaster, so you get 10 big trucks and 5 backhoes and you just put them up there waiting. But when the disaster hit, you realize you need 25 backhoes and 150 big trucks. So the disaster decides what resources is needed. So the size of the incident determines, the level of the incident command, whether NEMA has to get involved or not, which is what I was trying to explain before. So the incident command, it meets the needs of incidents of any kind or size. It must be usable for routine or planned events such as conferences. So you see, ain't even a fire-related incident. It's not even an accident. A conference, are we talking about using incident command system, as well as large and complex emergency incidents. So it could be used for the smallest thing and it could be used for the largest thing, but it must, and that's where we talk about it being flexible, right? So I just wanted to point out that.
Like I said, I hope he understands and find it in his heart to appreciate your explanation. I know he's a very critical individual.
Yes.
I hope he's not disgusted by you omitting that in the original statement.
I hope not.
But regardless, though, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you, Timothy and Ramel, for being here this morning. And instead of having a part 2 of the conversation, what we can do next week is open up our conversation with the answer to that question that individual asks.
Yes.
And then we can segue into a topic for next week.
Yes.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah, we could.
All right, great, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And stay tuned, man. We got more for you coming up here on The Morning Show.
All right.
Yeah, baby.
It's The Morning Show.
The specials at Domino's are hot for any occasion. Hot right out of the oven. 1 medium, 2 topping pizza, and 2 20-ounce Cokes, only $35. Free Coke with your lunch until 2 p.m. Small, 1 topping school child lunch special, only $14. 2 medium,